Hi folks, Matt Easton here, Scholar Gladiatoria. So in the last 24 hours the internet's gone pretty much crazy with this new Star Wars Episode 7 trailer. You know, I normally talk about more kind of historical things, more academic things, but hey ho, I like Star Wars as much as the next man, so I thought I'd say a few things about some comments that have come up around this lightsaber that's shown here. Well, the first exciting thing, of course, is a lot of people in HEMA, or historical European martial arts and historical fencing, have got really excited because, of course, this looks like a longsword. For decades, literally decades, we've had lightsabers that are, let's be honest, kind of modelled on kind of Japanese swordsmanship. They don't have any guard, in fact, any kind of hand guard, and so lots of people have got really excited by the fact that at last, here we have a sword that looks like a Western, you know, like a European type sword with a crossguard on it, and of course it makes a certain degree of sense to have a handguard on a lightsaber. You think this is supposed to be high tech. For anybody who knows about the development of swords, they will know that, you know, start off in the Bronze Age, swords didn't really have much of a handguard at all. They were used with shields, so they probably didn't need one much. But as you get into periods where swords were used by themselves, they start to develop long cross guards and ultimately develop what we call complex hilts, that is things like rapier swept hilts or cup hilt rapiers, and then you get basket hilted broadswords and then saber guards and so on and so forth. So you have protective guards to protect your hand from the blade of the weapon. So the fact that they're in this galaxy far, far away, but they're very high tech, and they don't have anything to protect their hands. These Jedis and Siths don't have anything to protect their hands from the blade of the opponent's weapon. Seems a bit kind of counterintuitive because it's a high-tech weapon but with a low-tech attitude to hand protection, and hands are very easy to hit and of course a huge risk. Now, one of the points that's come up which I take a kind of umbrage with is that a lot of people have gone, oh well, you know, this kind of crossguard, they're going to be cutting their own hands off or cutting their arms up or killing themselves with their own crossguard. Excuse me? When was the last time that any of you who use longswords hurt yourself with your crossguard? If you hit yourself with the crossguard, then you're doing something very, very wrong. I've pointed this out on the Scholar Facebook page, and people have gone, oh yeah, but you could just, you know, brush against it and you'd hurt yourself. Well, I think that if you had a weapon where if you brushed against it, then that would be a bad thing to do and you'd injure yourself, then you'd pretty quickly work out, don't brush against it, okay? You'd hold it in such a way that you don't brush against it, that you don't make contact with it. And the fact of the matter is that those of us who use medieval style swords and long swords, a lot of the time, week in, week out, we don't hit ourselves with our crossguards. At least if we do, we've really messed up. And if you don't want to brush against the guard or touch the guard, you don't have to touch the guard. And fundamentally, the most important thing is, it's got a handguard. Having a handguard that protects your hands from the opponent's weapon is a really big benefit. It's worth any potential risk or having to change how you train so you don't touch that bit of the weapon, so that you have a handguard, because you have a handguard, and that's awesome. Okay, one final thing, quite a few people have pointed out, quite rightly, that the base of the crossguard is actually metallic, and so that wouldn't be very good, because if the opponent's blade slid down your blade, then it would just chop the handguard off. That is a fair point, and I've got no answer for that one. But anyway, most important headline is, it's exciting. Star Wars, pretty much the biggest thing in the world, has a sword in it, well, a lightsaber, a laser sword, that looks like a longsword, and that's a pretty cool thing. Cheers!